Good afternoon. My name is Aimee Franklin, and it really gives me great pleasure to send this video message through to all of you at the conference in Nairobi this afternoon. It's with great sorrow that we're not represented in person at the conference. Unfortunately, the program slots that were made available to us simply didn't allow for our representatives to be present. But nonetheless, we wanted to record this message and send it to you as a show of our commitment to upholding and championing LGBTI rights across the African continent, and as a show of our commitment to having an ongoing dialogue with the LGBTI community around how we can best support the championing and upholding of those rights. Let me tell you a little bit more about the organization that I represent. I'm the coordinator of the Africa Liberal Network. We are a network of 35 liberal democratic political parties spread across 24 countries in Africa. Our head office is based in Cape Town, South Africa, where I'm addressing you from today. And we're a network of parties who all uphold very specific liberal principles. Principles like free and fair democratic elections with peaceful transitions, the rule of law, property rights, individual human rights and minority rights, as well as a free market economy. As a part of those principles, a very, very strong element of what we believe in is the concept of the rights of the individual. We believe that the rights of the individual come before the rights of the state, and that every individual has the right to self-determine. Every individual has the right to choose the life that they want for themselves, which means choosing where they want to live, how they want to live, what career path they follow, who they love, live with, whether they have children, whether they don't. Whatever the case is, we believe in the supremacy of the right of the individual. We also believe that that right is inalienable. In other words, that right cannot be taken away from somebody simply because it goes against whatever the majority will may be, or simply because it goes against whatever the majority tradition or religion or culture may be. We believe that the right of the individual comes before the government, it comes before religion, it comes before culture, it comes before majority will, and therefore is one of the most important principles that we as a network believe in and uphold. Over the past year and a half, the ALN has been following with great concern some of the developments on the continent, specifically relating to LGBTI rights. We've issued a statement on the situation in conjunction with the LGBTI working group and with Frank, who's there with you today. We've also issued a separate statement in January of this year, looking specifically at the situation in Uganda and in Nigeria, which we all know has occupied so much of the public discourse of late, specifically around LGBTI issues in Africa. As I mentioned earlier, we truly do believe in the supremacy of the right of the individual, and that the rights of LGBTI individuals and of that community also fall within that framework of human and individual rights and must be protected and upheld at all costs. We are very, very keen to having a joint dialogue around how we as the network can support the protection and promotion of LGBTI rights in Africa within the broader human rights framework and human rights discourse. Also acknowledging the fact that some of the most immediate ideas around how we can address violations of human rights and of LGBTI rights may not be simply as obvious as issuing a public statement condemning a particular regime, which could in the long run actually make more problems for an LGBTI community in a particular country than anything else. So we're really committed to having a dialogue around what kind of meaningful interventions we can make that will really have a material impact on the day-to-day lives and rights of LGBTI individuals right across the continent of Africa. As I mentioned earlier, we're a network of 35 political parties. So obviously one of the ways we will be doing this is through championing LGBTI rights in the policies of these parties. One of our member parties in South Africa, the Democratic Alliance, has been incredibly outspoken around LGBTI issues on the continent and has taken the South African government to task for their lack of outcry and condemnation around the laws in Uganda and in Nigeria of late. So we obviously will work through our member parties to ensure that where national bills are implemented or proposed, that they are opposed, that they are fought against. And we also want to find out from you how we can work on a regional level in conjunction with the LGBTI community to really ensure that LGBTI rights are protected and are advanced. So as I say, today is really part of the start of that dialogue. Frank and I will have a meeting in the Netherlands next month where we will speak about the outcomes of the conference. If there are any of you who as individuals are particularly interested in perhaps making contact with one of the political parties who are members of our network, please get in contact with me. You can get my contact information from Frank, and you can also go and read a little bit more about the network on our website at www.africaliberalnetwork.org. So in closing, I just want to reiterate our support for LGBTI rights on the continent. We have committed ourselves to promoting these rights, to defending these rights, and we really, really look forward to increasing the level of engagement that we have with the LGBTI community, to realizing an Africa where every individual truly is free to live the life they want, to make the choices that they want to, and to live in freedom and peace and prosperity. I wish you all the best for the remainder of the conference. This is a very courageous and brave step that you've made to come together in a very volatile region where LGBTI rights are concerned at the moment. We wish you the best of luck, and we hope that this is just the start of great things to come.